I was having a conversation with my coworker recently about my summer, and he went, sounds like you haven't actually had to deal with failure. And I went, it's not a sensation I'm familiar with. I am now familiar with it. This summer was the biggest learning curve of my life, and I'll tell you why.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
I had two main goals for the year. Two main goals for like 3 years, really. So, like, for the entirety of 4 years, actually, the entirety of my degree before I even started. And I didn't get either of them. The structure this video is going to take is I'm going to tell you about both of the goals individually. So, their motivations, what I did regarding them, and then I'll tell you about lessons I learned from not getting them and how I handled that and how I moved on from that. The first goal that we had for like 3 years was graduating with a first class. It was so important to me. Something that's very important to note is that I have an almost decapacitating need for academic validation. It's a thing of like, I think I'm a smart person, and so I need my grades to reflect that belief I have of myself. It's actually an identity thing as well, of I identify as a smart person. And what does a smart person have? Smart person grades. They have A's, they have firsts. That's what fast people do. So I like to be validated that I'm actually an academic and I'm an intellectual. And then that leads on to my second point of like expectations as well. Because I have a sort of, depending on how you want to look at it, I have a sort of record of academic excellence. So for instance, in my sixth form, I graduated as best graduating student in virtually every module, every subject that I took.
So for the next award, very interesting. Best graduating student in psychology, best graduating student in sociology, best graduating student in law, best graduating student, of course, in social science university is Adiroke Ajisola.
Everyone believed that I was going to get it first. Me too, Seth. I believed I was going to get it first. I was like, no, but as an intellectual, that's what we do. We get first classes. That's the program. Get with the program. In fact, my dad had even congratulated me on graduating with the first before I graduated with the first. That was the level of expectation. And also, people who had never seen my grades, people who knew me, like, Ronke does only first class. And I'd be like, ha 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 ha. And so I just thought, everyone thinks I'm going to get it first. I think I'm going to get it first. I need to get this first class. And so I locked in. Or more, I put in so much effort into getting the first class. I was in the library at inordinate times of the night, of the day, of the afternoon, of the night. At a point in my second year, I was like, this first class is just not looking forthcoming. I was thinking of giving up. But instead of doing that, I printed out a fake degree with my name and first class LLB, and I put it like in front of my wall. So every time I'm studying, I'm looking at that to motivate me to continue like studying and doing the work in order to graduate with this first class, because it was that important. I even had a strategy in that. So in my second year, I already had a plan of the modules that I was going to take in my third year, and they included things like corporate insolvency and public company law, because I genuinely have interest in these things. By the time second year finished, I said, okay, this is not a first class average. Third year, let me try and choose modules that I know get first. So I took those two out, even though I was interested in them, and replaced them with two other modules that I thought, it sounds easier. I can just get a first class in them. I still did like lots of other modules I was interested in, although they were more difficult, like intellectual property and competition. But I decided, let me just take those two out so that let's maximize our chances of getting it first, right? We didn't get that first. We actually didn't get that first, which was a lot. The second thing that I really wanted to get that I didn't was a training contract. So depending on where you're from, you may or may not know what a training contract is, but it's essentially like a graduate scheme specifically for law. So it's typically 2 years, and then rotates around 4 seats for 6 months, essentially like 4 departments in the commercial law firm. It's notoriously very competitive, very difficult, and I knew this, and I've known this for time. That was why I chose to decide to study in the UK, to maximize my chances of actually getting into the system of commercial law. In fact, my original plan, that one we failed at that plan a long time ago, was to have a training contract at 17. That was the plan, and I was planning on writing one of those obnoxious LinkedIn posts of, I'm so humbled to just announce that at 17 I have a training contract. That was it. Because if you're not aware, Clifford Chance does a scheme called Spark, where they give you a training contract in your first year if you go through like their scheme. But that was the plan that didn't clearly didn't work out. Hilarious. So I've been trying for this thing, and now by my third year, by this summer actually, I'd secured a vacation scheme. So a vacation scheme is an internship specifically for law, lasts 2 to 3 weeks, and at the end of it, you are interviewed for a training contract. It's like a lot of firms recruit either exclusively from their vacation schemes or majorly. Ooh, what happened to the light just then? Was it just me, or did it like become so much darker? I don't know. Okay. Either exclusively from their vacation schemes or majorly from their vacation scheme, like 75-80% from their vacation scheme. So it was like, okay, I've made it this far. Amazing stuff. By the time I got the vacation scheme, I thought, damn, we've done it. We've really done the hard parts. We're here. And I started thinking about, okay, so considering the fact that I already had this in the bag, I started like looking for accommodation in London for when I started my training contract. And I started visualizing my life when I had a training contract, which really was part of the problem that we'll discuss when we come to the things that I learned. But when I didn't get it, it was just very, very disabilitating. Now we come to what I describe as the sorrowful summer of suffering, SSS, because within a span of 1 week, I discovered that I didn't get the training contract, and I also did not graduate with it first, which were two things that I had dedicated a substantial portion of my life to, two things that I had put in so much effort into. I didn't get them.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
It felt like the ground was falling from beneath my feet. I had lost all bearing. I had lost my direction. Even if I had had one of the two, I'd have understood what was going on, but I didn't. But with the training contract, I had made so many future plans on it based on, okay, so because like this would sponsor my visa, I can stay in the country for so years, and everything was making sense, and suddenly all my plans, gone in the wind with one unfortunately we regret to inform you email. In fact, honestly, when I got the email, I thought they sent this to the wrong person. And I looked and said, no, that's my name. That's actually my name. It just can't be. I cried. I wailed. I was just like, this is crazy. Because I know if I put in like a lot of effort, if I really, really try, at the end of the day, it will work out. So although I didn't have a first average in my first or second year, I was like, no. I'm still going to get it first. Like, and it does happen because your third year is 70% of your degree. So I was like, I'm still going to get it first. Like, so the finality of this is my degree, they've said this is it. I can't, like, this is it. I got a 2-1. A high 2-1, but a 2-1 nonetheless. Was just very crazy. It was just very wild. And the finality of the no of the training contract was also very crazy and wild. So what did I learn from this experience? 1, life is a battlefield. Show up prepared or don't show up at all. I'm going to repeat that. Life is a battlefield. Show up prepared or don't show up at all. And I think I'm going to specify particularly the job market, maybe not the whole of life, but the job market. Don't be playing with anybody. Nobody is your friend. Nobody is your mate. I think in life, if you have an opportunity, the fire of 1,000 burning seashells, that's what you need to use to maximize that opportunity. Don't let it slip out of your hands. Hit it as per, oh, sorry, I hit the table. Hit it. Because I had gotten to like the last stage of the interview, I was thinking, oh yeah, no, I've got this, you've not got nothing. Or you don't have anything. And this segues into my second point, which is don't celebrate until the joy is full. Until the end, until the ink is dry on the contracts that you have signed, don't celebrate nada. Because that was part of my problem. Because I was telling people I had a training contract when I really just had a vacation ship. The probability of me getting a training contract, high. Nonetheless, not definite. It wasn't confirmed. It was just a high probability, and I went, oh yeah, I have a training contract. So by the time I didn't get the training contract, part of the pain was consoling myself, and part of the pain was trying to explain to the various stakeholders that are now involved in this particular failure. And I just think it would have been easier for me if I didn't have to explain to anybody that I didn't get it. I had to start explaining how, well, and it was just so, it made an already painful process even more painful. So celebration, the joy must be full first. Third, true enjoyment. True enjoyment is the best motivator, and it's just based on that my strategy of let me choose these other modules that although I didn't hate them, I think I enjoyed them. If I do say to myself, they were okay. But my main motivation for choosing them was because I thought it would be easier to get first class. The harder modules I did better in, and I got groundbreaking first classes. I got really, really great, like high marks in those ones. And these two that I thought were going to help my ministry actually brought my ministry down. So I think in life, if I don't enjoy it, I'm just not going to do it, because I think I would do better if I enjoyed it. Lastly, you can do your best and it still not work out. And I think this is possibly the biggest lesson when it comes to failure. I think one is very important that you put your best in, because regret is a very painful feeling, and you don't want to feel like, oh, I didn't try my best and be regretting that. If you know you've put your best in, if you're religious, that wasn't God's plan for you, and if you're not religious, just wasn't meant to be. But I think sometimes, a lot of the times, what it is you're losing perspective. I think during the summer, because they came so close to each other, I just felt like my entire life was, I'm just a joke. I'm just like, they should just carry me and put me inside those pointy hats and the ears. I'm a jester, I'm a joke. And I had all these like very negative thoughts that consumed me, and I couldn't see anything good in my life. I just thought, wow, all I do is fail no matter what. I couldn't see all the other things that were successful. What I've learned now, right, is okay, these two things didn't work out. Fine. You failed. Fine. But there are these 23 things that you were successful at. So it's not just unfair, it's just inaccurate to say you have failed when the failure pie chart is giving 2/23. They were very important to me, hence why they were disproportionately enlarged in my mind. But at the end of the day, there are two things. And when I say I failed, like, let's all just be for real here. Like, I still got a very high 2-1. I got an amazing, like, it was a good mark. And I still got a vacation scheme, which most people never make it up to. So even in that, there's a lack of perspective. But broader, just in my life, there's a bigger lack of perspective. I'm not disillusioned that I'm never going to experience failure again. I'm actually grateful that I've experienced it now, so that it doesn't catch me off guard in future. But at least in future, I'm more equipped. I can see clearer that you are losing perspective. I think the only time you can call yourself a failure is when you stop trying. If you haven't stopped trying, you are not a failure. Jeff Bezos had the Fire phone. If you don't know what the Fire phone is, that proves my point, because that was what he was trying to do before Amazon. It was a catastrophic failure. The failure really failed. It was really, really a failure. But he didn't give up. If he had let that define him, if he had stopped there, that's him. He's a failure. He's the owner of a failed startup. But now when you think of Jeff Bezos, you don't define him with a failed Fire phone. You define him with the successful Amazon. So really and truly, if you've not stopped trying, if you're still putting in your best, if you are coming prepared, you'll be fine. You'll be okay. Take for instance now, I think I've been able to apply a lot of these lessons that I learned over the summer into my life currently. And so there are a lot of celebrations upcoming. But like we said, we'll not celebrate until the joy is full. So I'm not going to talk too much. But I think as long as you don't stop trying, you will keep having successes. That's my point. That's it. I hope I've been able to convince you and not confuse you on my points. I genuinely hope that if this is something you're struggling with, then this video has helped you somewhat. If you really like the video, just tell me so in the comments. I really like reading comments. I'm trying to improve the way I edit. So if you have any comments on like editing or the way which I presented the video, let me know as well. If not, I will see you in my next video. Let me know if you like this type of content as well. I really enjoyed making it, and I really enjoyed the opportunity to like reflect and, you know, produce something like this for you guys. Right, that's me, that's that. As of right now, I'm still your favorite unemployed graduates. I'll see you guys later. Bye.